Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new piercing video. So today we're going to be doing a topic that has been suggested to me several times. Now I did do one a little while ago, but there are several more piercings that I would never ever get, and ones I just really do not want. So I thought we could do a part 2 of body mods and piercings that I would never get. So to kick this list off, it may confuse some of you, but one of the first piercings that I will never ever get is a bridge piercing. Now I know you're probably thinking, but Roly, you've got a bridge piercing right now. Actually I haven't. This is stuck on with eyelash glue. Hello police? Yes, I would like to report someone for fraud. Now a lot of people were confused in my last video going, have you got a new piercing? Why didn't you tell us? Trust me, if I got a new piercing, I will tell you, I'll make a video about it. This is my job, bitch. Now bridge piercings look so cool. I do really think they're quite sweet, but the only problem with them is they have an incredibly high chance of rejection. The fact that you move your eyebrows a lot and everything and that kind of thing, it's constant movement. It does count as a surface piercing, and there's not a great deal amount of flesh for it to sit underneath. Unfortunately, for the majority of people that do have them, they do reject and grow out over time. And I really do not want to be left with a scar on the top of my nose here. I really do not want that. Also, I'm so anal about having everything perfect. Now, if I got this done and it was ever so slightly lopsided, wonky, and it wasn't completely dead straight. I've seen so many people with bridge piercings that they aren't dead straight, they're slightly off center, they're slightly wonky, even by like a fraction, and that would drive me insane. I would go absolute ape crap about it and I just would not be able to cope with it. Bridge piercings, unfortunately for me, are off the table. Now, kind of along the same lines as these kind of piercings, the second one I have come to the conclusion of quite sadly, but I think for the right reasons, and that is an eyebrow piercing. Now, I get asked all the time to redo my eyebrow. A little while ago, I did have my left eyebrow pierced. I loved it so much, but unfortunately, it did migrate and reject out of my body over time. Now, I know a lot of that was because I had to take it in and out for work. At the time, I was working in retail and they were a little bit strict about like body modifications, so I wasn't allowed to have my eyebrow piercing in. So taking it in and out all the time did cause it to reject over time. However, I do feel like the way that my body is, I think it would probably have rejected anyway. I've not really had the best luck when it comes to surface piercings. I really do not want to go through all that again and have like a gash taken out of my eyebrow, because when eyebrow piercings do reject, a lot of the time they push forward and it like destroys where the hair follicle would be. And for a lot of people that have it, they have like a gap in the eyebrow, which I really do not want. That's a very chavvy look. Now the next reason is a little bit weird, but I found it to be the worst piercing to have when it came to sleeping. And I know people are gonna look at me and think, your ears are covered, how can an eyebrow piercing be worse? The amount of times that I rolled over and knocked it and it hurt and I was like, oh, for God's sake. Or like when I was washing my face and I like catch it by accident and be like, oh, for God's sake. It was actually so frustrating. And if any of you have had that, please comment down below. But out of any of my piercings, it's been the worst when it came to sleeping. So the next one is a little bit of a bizarre one, and that is a coin slot. So the coin slot modification, I'm not too sure how long it's been around for. I've not really seen that many people have it before, actually. But coin slot piercing is basically a slot they take out on your cartilage. You can kind of change where you want it in your ear. So it basically looks like a coin slot. So they get like a scalpel and sort of carve out like a rectangular shape. Basically what happens is you cut it out, then they sew it around the outside, and then when it heals, you can put lots of hoops in it that kind of look like this, and they kind of stack them together like that. Now I think it looks really cool. The only problem with this piercing is there's no kind of definite way of saying this is what it's going to look like. When you take out a big chunk of your ear like that, it can deform your ear, it might heal weird, you might get, your scarring might be a little bit off, you might end up getting piercing bumps that permanently kind of like change the shape of it. And I've seen so many different photos online of people who've had this done, and it just is like a weird shape. It's wonky, it's lopsided. It just doesn't look perfect. Also for me, I just don't think it would look good on me. You know, the amount of piercings I've got already, I don't know where I would really kind of fit one of them in anyway. So this next one is kind of like a collection of piercings, and it kind of carries on the same sort of theme as the bridge and the eyebrow piercing. And it's like any kind of other surface piercings. A little while ago, I did want to get my collarbones done. I also wanted to get my hips done. And I was thinking about maybe getting my nape done again. And all these kind of things, after a while thinking about it, I've, you know, come to the decision that I'm actually not going to get any more surface piercings. I feel like at my stage in my life now and what I do, I don't feel like it's very practical. I now go to the gym like 3-4 times a week, and the constant sort of like pushing and the pulling and all the kind of like weight, the strain that it puts on bits of your body. If I was ever to get my collarbones done, like doing this all the time, like the weightlifting or like pushing with the weights in front of me, it will just reject and it will not last. My hip piercings, doing crunches, like all the squats and everything, it will just reject and it will not last. The same with the neck, like a nape piercing. With the pressure around my body, they will just grow out. The thing is with surface piercings is they look cool and I love them, but they only look good for a short amount of time. They reject so quickly anyway. And also the healing process of a lot of them take a long time. So not only does it reject over time, if you can even get it to heal perfectly within that time, like there's not much of a period where it's gonna look pretty and nice without it look with bars protruding and everything. Like the whole process of it is a bit frustrating. So next on the list is something that I get asked about all the time, and it's kind of like a compilation, like would I ever get any more lip piercings? I do not want any more lip piercings. I am very happy with just having the spider bites. My entire goal from the very beginning was to have spider bites. I always wanted it. I never wanted any more than that. As you do know, if you have been watching any of my other videos, I'm not a big fan of any piercings along the top lip. Medusas, they can look cool, but like Monroe and Madonna piercings, I really dislike. I've always disliked them. I'm just very happy with these two that I have at the moment. Maybe in the future I will change my mind and may want to change and swap them, but I'm very happy. As some of you do know, I do have my labret piercing, and sometimes I do put that in, but it's very rare, just because I feel like sometimes it looks a little bit too much and cluttered, and I don't want my face to look like that. Like my facial ones, I do seem to like fluctuate whether I'm wanting them or not. So for all I know, I could take something out soon and not want it anymore. I just like my face to look a certain way, and if I'm not happy, I will just change it. I never wanted to be heavily modified on my face. And also I'm really scared about tooth damage and everything, so I won't want to get any more on my lips and stuff. And that does kind of lead into my next one as well, and that's a tongue piercing. I'm so particular about my teeth, and I'm so scared about damaging them, and I just know that if I have a tongue piercing, I will play with it, I will do that, and I just know I will. So I feel like a tongue piercing will be bad for me. It's the same with a tongue web piercing. I was gonna get my tongue web done a long time ago. I've decided not to again, just because of tooth damage. These are perfectly positioned where they do not hit my teeth, and I'm very happy with that. Everything else around here, I feel like would, and I just don't want that risk. I feel like my teeth aren't straight, but I feel like they're nice, and I just don't want to damage them. Teeth are literally like the first thing I notice on someone. When I meet you, one of the first things I will notice is your teeth, and it's just people notice things differently. Eyes, you know, lips or nose, whatever. Like for me, the first thing I notice about someone is their teeth, and it's kind of like because of that, I'm also very conscious about my own teeth. Got a nice cup of lapsang souchon. Sippy whippy on the TV. So next on the list is an orbital piercing. These are one piercings, basically like two sort of next to each other, and you put one hoop that kind of goes through the whole thing. I like all of my piercings to be singular and separate. I don't like it to sort of be held in place like that. I just feel like it would be problematic to heal. With hoops and stuff, there's not really any space really for swelling. So if your ear swelled up really bad, would it engulf the bar? Because a hoop's a hoop. Like hoops aren't designed for swelling. So it's like, I don't really know how to combat that. I personally I'm not really a fan of them. Having piercings that hold your ear in place like that, knocking them and stuff will hurt more. I just don't want it. So for this next one is actually one that I do have, but I will never go through that again. And that is a daith piercing. Now I have an entire video about how my daith piercing made me go deaf, so I'm just gonna kind of skirt over it because I don't want to make me like go on it too much. But basically, when I got my daith pierced, it swelled up really bad, and all the ooze and all the blood and everything sort of seeped into my ear canal, hardened, and caused me to go deaf for 2 weeks. Now, not clinically deaf, but I was like, I couldn't hear anything out of it, and it sounded like I was underwater all the time. So like, if you ever like, all the sound, it sounded like that. It just sounded really heavily muffled. I couldn't make out any, like, if anyone was talking to me here, I had no idea what they were saying. I ended up having to get my ear syringed, and the stuff that came out was absolutely horrendous. Now it has healed and it's been great, but I would never go through that again, literally never. Also, it was very, very, very painful, and because of where it is in your ear, it's a very bizarre pain because you feel it kind of like in here, like it's not, like it's just not something you would normally feel. Like it is a really weird pain, and I just really would not want to go through that again, especially because of the horrendous experience I had the first time. It is now perfectly healed. I will be getting a horseshoe bar put in it very soon, and I do think it looks very cute and I love it, but no way will I go through that again. Na na na. Say na na na. To the daith piercings in your ear, na na na. So as always, guys, make sure you do come and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff. There is links down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and again, I will link part 1 in the description as well, so if you want to go watch that, please go do that. And you can see some other piercings that I said I've never wanted to get, so that might be why they're not included into this video. But anyway, guys, please hit the like button, really help me out, share with all your friends, all that good kind of stuff, and again, links below. I'll see you very soon for another video. Be fast, amazing, be gay, be everything you want to be, and don't let any bitch they take on you because you are what? Flawless! Yes!